We're not here to talk about bowling. We're going to cut all that out. We're just here to talk about beer.
It's okay, Nuts. She's not looking at you.
Hello, and thank you for listening to the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast. My name is David Shockley.
And I'm Morgan Miller.
And our special guest today, you would never invite to your friend's bowling night because, first off, he would embarrass the shit out of you and your friends with your weak-ass rolling skills. And two, you've probably actually never planned a friend's bowling night. What are you doing? Get together. Life is short. Introducing Wilmington, Delaware's own Joe Sparks.
Round of applause for me. Yay. Woohoo. How you doing?
Joe, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And you're a competitive bowler, is that right?
I am.
How long have you been bowling for, I guess, competitively?
Competitively, about 12 years. I've been bowling completely for about 23 now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, what differentiates, like, the 12 to 23? Like, what is that gap?
Well, the 23, I started when I was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. And this is my 23rd year of bowling, of course. And so I just was starting to learn how to throw the ball and everything like that. So I really didn't get into a league until I turned about 13.
That's an impressive league.
Yes. And I bowled up in Pennsville for, let's say, 10 years before my dad actually took me over to Bowl-A-Rama in Wilmington and got me started with the league.
Okay. And how do league games work? Just for the people that don't know, is it age gapped or kind of age caps for different leagues? Like you have like a junior league, a toddler league.
Yes. So you have your youth division, which is set up on Saturday mornings for the most part, and that ranges between a toddler to 17 years old. Now, those youths, they can't get money because technically in all of America, basically, it's illegal to give kids cash for gambling, per se.
Fucking laws.
So,
but what about Chavez?
What's Chavez?
Chavez? The day of rest for the Jews.
The
Jewish.
Oh, I'm not Jewish, so I don't know about anything like that. Go Hitler. As far as I know, they have offered that. It's okay.
We just watched The Big Lebowski yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Really? It's a good movie. It's one of my favorites.
That's how we...
I was referring to the scene where John Goodman gets very upset that they schedule bowling on Saturday.
I was going to... Go ahead and finish up.
Because it's the day of rest.
I thought you were referring to the scene where he brought a dog into the bowling alley, and everyone's like, "Did you bring a dog in here?" He says, "Yeah, I have to take care of it. It's a Pomeranian. Don't let him out." And he opens the cage.
Yep. This is perfect. We literally just watched it yesterday. That was like script. That was the actual script.
Don't let him out.
Over the line.
Well, we're going to start the podcast off the exact same way we start off every single podcast. We got to do a shot. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And we also have a special beer that we're going to be drinking. We're going to talk about that a little after this shot. Morgan, what are we taking a shot of today?
I have New Amsterdam, and so do you, but Joe specifically requested Jacquemus brandy.
Jacquemus.
Blackberry brandy given to us from our last guest that we had on, Brad Glasgow.
Shout out to Brad. Thanks.
Morgan, what should we cheers to?
Your mom's pussy lips.
Cheers.
It's actually pretty good.
Said no one ever.
Doesn't taste like blackberries at all. I don't know why it's on there.
It's because if they put cough syrup on there.
It is true. Yeah, it probably wouldn't sell as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you go to the doctor and you like, I don't like needles at all. So I like it when they don't tell me the needle's going to happen.
Right.
So when the pain happens, boom, it happens. I didn't see it coming. But if you're prepared for it, then it makes it so much worse.
Oh, I agree.
So that way you're just like, oh, this is going to be great. Oh, no, it wasn't great at all. Thank God it's over. I didn't know about that.
I really like it when the nurse comes in and she's like, oh, she's nervous. And then she talks to me for a whole minute, and then she just comes in and then just bow! And then it's over.
I was very confused. One day I got 7 stitches in my left thumb, and the lady walked in. The doctor walked in. She goes, chomping on an apple. That looks pretty big. I'm like, yes, it is.
That's what she said?
This is the ASMR portion of the podcast.
Yeah, ASMR. How is everybody today?
Oh, but I brought a fancy beer today.
Ooh, what is it, Morgan?
It's the Crown Crew from Rodenbach. It's a mixture of young and old ale, aged together. in an oak fooder to make this delicious, tart, refreshing beverage we're drinking.
We are not sponsored by them, by the way, just so
No.
everybody knows. But we would accept a sponsorship.
Would love that. It's
Let's
delicious.
go sponsors. Sponsors are always good.
I think at this point, we've mentioned Hitler so many times that I don't even think liquor companies will sponsor us.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Just look for every German brand available.
Oh, so,
Like, literally, our last episode had Nazis in the name. We run a tight ship around here.
Nazi bowling man.
Now, you mentioned that you really like the movie The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
You know, that's convenient because we're going to play a little bit of a game with you.
All right.
And it is the official Maximum Mediocrity pop quiz for The Big Lebowski.
Sweet.
And based off what you were talking to us, what you've already said, you're probably going to do very well.
God.
Now, these are the rules. For the people that don't know, it's 5 questions.
One,
if
two,
you
three.
manage to get at least 3 questions correct, then me and Morgan, as the creators of the quiz, which we absolutely did together this time, we have to take an additional shot.
Okay.
But if you fail to answer 3 questions correctly, then you have to take an additional shot.
Can I just do a shot anyway if I win or lose?
Absolutely,
Sweet.
you can.
Awesome.
Wow, it's a theme now.
I like that.
I do.
We have very polite guests on our show now. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Are you ready, Joe Sparks, for the official quiz?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Walter is taking care of his ex's wife's dog. What type of dog was it?
Pomeranian?
Actually,
Chihuahua, I think it was, right?
ooh. I'm going to give you this. They refer to it as a Pomeranian in the movie, but it's actually a Yorkie.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
But that's a dog knowledge thing.
Okay.
So I'll give you that one just because
Sweet.
that is what they say.
Appreciate it. Shot, here I come.
On the board. Question 2. When Walter and the dude are going to deliver the $1 million ransom, Walter brings what type of gun with him?
I know it was a handgun. I can't remember if it was a 45 or a 9mm.
So it was the one that he had wrapped up in the paper that fell out of the car.
I can't remember.
You want to just take a guess?
Massive bazooka.
That's a
I
fucking
wish
good
that
answer.
would have been good.
That would make the movie way better. It was an Uzi
Okay.
because when it hits the ground, it goes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
So okay, you still got one.
Yes.
Question 3. This was going to be my original first question, the
Okay.
softball question. What is the dude's drink of choice?
Dude's drink of choice?
Yes,
This is like trick question, right?
the dude's drink of choice.
I don't know.
You want to just take a guess?
Vodka cran?
Oh, that's like one of my drinks of choice.
If he was a sorority girl, probably.
Probably.
All right.
A white Russian.
Dude, I can't. I can't remember that specifics.
So you got 1 out of 3.
One out
I'm
of
okay
3.
with 1 out of 3.
Okay, so you've technically lost at this point,
Yes.
but we still want to do it because it's a lot of fun. Question 4. What is the Big Lebowski's name?
Oh, it's the dude in the wheelchair. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the dude in the wheelchair. What the hell's his name? Paul? No, that's not Paul.
Is Paul your final answer?
I'm gonna go with Paul.
He's going with Paul. That is incorrect. It was Jeffrey Lebowski.
God damn it.
Fun fact.
Fucking
Both
Paul.
of them are Jeffrey Lebowski.
That is, oh, you're right, because they got the wrong address in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
They peed on the rug. Son of a bitch. Fuck.
It's okay. It's all right. It's really tough because I want to let you know this, that when the nature of the show is that we bring on people and we learn about them. So
Right.
it's sometimes tough to gauge the level of the quiz that we're supposed to give them because it's like, you're an expert, but I don't know if you're an expert in this or that. That's
Right.
why we did Big Lebowski rather than bowling.
I can say, though, if you gave me a quiz on Kingpin, I would have nailed every single one of them.
We actually did a toss up of, I thought it was a toss up of what are we going to watch? It was either going to be Kingpin or The Big Lebowski.
Personally,
Is Kingpin?
Kingpin.
Kingpin!
Kingpin!
Ping.
Rule of all Thailand! Kingpin!
Ping pong, whereas as the Asians call it, ping pong.
Ding dang.
So is it about bowling?
Yes.
Kingpin, yes. It's Woody Harrelson and I can't remember the other guy's name,
Man.
but his name is Ishmael. And he was a very good bowler that ended up losing his hand in a very bad gambling debt.
That's
So
right.
he was hustling people and ended up hustling a priest and said his name, which was Roy Munson. And then that's why people a lot of say you got Munson.
Oh.
I'm glad you mentioned that, like with his hand and all that,
Yes.
because I vaguely as a child remember that scene of like him losing his hand because it gets put in the feeder, right?
Yes.
And And when we were watching, I thought, oh, that must have been just like a childhood memory of like me watching a portion of The Big Lebowski, because it's very similarly shot. And then when we were watching it, I was like, when's this fucking hand going? And it never happened. I was waiting for that setup.
Well, actually, fun fact, that actually cannot happen. You cannot lose your hand in the feeder. You can skin your hand. You can get it very badly damaged by a ball breaking your hand coming out of the feeder. But it's almost impossible to lose your hand in the feeder because the belt spins towards you. So if your hand is coming this way, it would only bend it backwards.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. I feel like that'd be a huge safety oversight if you could literally lose your fucking hand from something that
I agree.
your hand
Well,
is right next to.
There's actually a safety warning because so many people stick their hands in. Like a ball gets stuck every now and then. You stick your hand in, it'll crush your hands.
Wow.
Oh.
So you got to be careful.
Fuck.
Dangerous sport 101, bowling. Eat nachos and die.
Final question. What is a nihilist?
An nihilist?
A nihilist.
An nihilist? He annihilates everything?
Not a nihilist.
A nihilist.
A nihilist.
A nihilist.
Just to maybe jog your memory a little bit, this is Bunny, the woman that was being ransomed. She says, would he have a problem with it? It's the dude that's in the pool and he's like passed the fuck out and he goes, oh, he's a nihilist. And nihilist turns into a common theme throughout the movie.
I don't know.
Someone that doesn't care about anything.
That's a good call. I'm a nihilist. Sweet.
Yep. And just to get more specific, just for our viewers at home, more specifically, a nihilist is a person who believes that life is meaningless and rejects all religious and moral principles.
Oh, no, maybe I'm not that. But.
Does that make Rick from Rick and Morty a nihilist, do you think?
I would absolutely say so.
As soon as I heard the definition yesterday, I was like, oh my god, this is so familiar.
Yeah.
Does that make Hitler a nihilist?
Well, he had some morals.
I was going to say, he cared about a few things.
Cared about a lot of things.
A lot of good easy bake ovens.
Oh, fuck. And a little bonus question here. This was, if you cleared this, I would have given you a bonus question. But how many White Russians does the dude drink throughout the film?
I think it was like 6.
Close. 9.
Oh, that was close, yeah.
9?
69 is my favorite number anyway.
Really?
No.
Was it because of Hitler? 9!
6-9!
Cheers. The dude abides.
The dude abides.
Also, this, like, the nice beer that you brought, fucking great.
It
It has like a really nice color too. Would you believe that they have been brewing it for over 200 years?
Holy fuck.
Right?
Can you imagine, and even think about that, like, you're the guy that makes the first batch, and he's like, it'll probably be shit.
And it just turns out to be phenomenal.
I legit thought that's how I was going to be with Miller High Life. But we see how that turned out.
Yeah.
Miller High Life's one of the best beers ever. And I lost the cap.
We're giant advocates
like
for
it.
the Miller High Life.
I'll find random stuff. I went to Four Seasons last Christmas and found a beer called Hobo Life and fell in love with it. And now my uncle brews his own beer called Hobo Life.
Oh my gosh, really?
does.
That's funny you mention that, because that blackberry brandy, our friend brought that over because he said this is like what hobos drink a lot.
Really? It's good.
So you have distinctive taste.
Very distinctive hobo man taste.
Dave, could you like maybe describe the mouthfeel?
The mouthfeel, that's right.
Mouthfeel.
I know it's very important.
I would say it's...
Should we swish it? Swish and sniff?
Ah!
I like the mouthfeel.
By God!
He gets it. It has a good mouthfeel.
I do like
it. Feels like it's in my mouth.
It feels like
I
I'm drinking
agree.
a
It has a
warhead.
very wet.
Yes, I also agree. This is very wet liquid.
I don't want to say it has like a it tastes sour. It tastes bitter. It almost tastes not like fungus, but you know what I mean. Like it has like a
fungus.
What am I trying to say?
Tastes like a warhead.
It's like tart, but like a super like those
Like a Pop-Tart?
the sweet tarts, the little
Yes.
the hard candies.
Yeah.
It tastes like one of those it could totally be one of those flavors of the hard sweet tarts.
Yeah.
Not like the sweet tarts that are like the chalky ones, the hard ones that you got at like Halloween time.
They're good stuff.
Yeah, that's
They were like one of my favorites.
And the color's like it's almost like a plum color.
It's like almost like it's red.
That's really nice.
I love it. I wore specific pink socks for you guys today.
Aw.
Pink fuzzy
they look
socks.
fuzzy.
They're very nice. I like
Really
these.
comfy.
They
Stole them
look
from
so
my
comfy.
ex-girlfriend.
Oh man, that's what.
Yeah, fuck her.
Exactly. I
What
did.
is your favorite possession you've ever like kept from an ex?
Ooh. I'm actually been really lucky. All my ex-girlfriends I've actually managed to stay friends with.
Good for you.
Are we talking like it's something that like they owned?
Yeah, something they owned and you just claimed and they never got it back.
Oh, the vibrator.
I
That's a
understand.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I never needed anything for a vibrator, so I didn't have the chance to take one because I never had one.
Look, when I break up with a person, I do like a whole like sex toy dump. I'm like, I touched it, that other person touched it. I'm not sure what's in my mind, but I'm like, I gotta dump all of these. Back to square one.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Some ex-girlfriends also listen to this podcast, so I'm afraid if I say anything real, I'm gonna get a fucking phone call. Be like, you still have that, you son of a bitch!
Hi, Jilly.
I'd be actually not surprised if one of my exes listened to this.
You're gonna be famous. You know that?
Yeah.
You're gonna be the most famous
Look at
Delaware
that.
bowler.
Marianne's going to call me and say, what are you doing?
What is your favorite item that you have from an ex?
Oh man,
Morgan?
I still wear my ex-boyfriend's like winter coat to work. It's like a fuzzy jacket on the inside. It's fuzzy even in the sleeves.
Ooh.
And I'm still friends with him. We're still good friends. We should have just been friends. That's the real deal. And he's every time I see him and he sees me in it, he's like, I want that back. And I'm like, no. It's mine. I got work paint on it. It's mine forever now.
Who is that?
Jonathan's.
Oh, John. Shout out to John.
Jonathan.
He doesn't listen to this. He has shit to
No,
do.
he doesn't.
He has a life.
Well, I feel like he should totally listen to it. All he ever does is be outside all the time.
Right? John, what the fuck?
Yeah, come inside.
What about you, Joe? What's your favorite item you've gotten from an ex?
That I've stolen from an ex or gotten, period?
I would say that you kind of won in the breakup. That
Oh,
maybe
man.
that
My dignity?
you
That
No,
is
no,
my favorite too.
you lose that every time.
You ain't lying.
I don't know. I feel like I got to keep it last time.
Mm-hmm.
I like pulled it up out when I left.
That's what she said.
Extension of that question is do you think someone can win a breakup?
Yes, I do, because eventually one of them's going to end up being understanding of the other, and the other one's going to end up falling into a pit. It's usually and I hate to say it this way, but it's usually the person that is all high and mighty when they break up that turns into like in the deep, dark depression zone. And I know I just got real right there, but I do think that someone can win a breakup.
Yeah.
Per se. And I think my ex won our breakup.
That
Isn't
takes a lot to admit.
Well, she's fucking my one of my good friends, so I mean, she probably
yes.
won that breakup.
Well, fuck her anyway.
Already did.
We went to a bar the other day with a friend of ours, and he broke up with this girl, and now he's with this other girl. This new girl's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And she was wearing this like it was Halloween, so she was wearing this like skin tight outfit. And we're like, wow, man, she's really nice. We went to this bar. This was kind of us meeting her, and who's there but the ex-girlfriend? She's a tiny little petite thing, and
With giant nostrils. Look, I had just
savage.
Look, I just got done saying, wow, you finally got an attractive girlfriend. And here turns around this woman. And I was like, I can't even believe you're here to hear this.
Like right within earshot.
I'm like, I'm
3
not
feet
going to
away.
take it back. But also, I thought you would be gone out of my life. I would never see you ever again.
When your friend breaks up with their significant other, how long does it take before you delete that person, that boyfriend or girlfriend
Immediately.
off of Facebook?
I was going to say
Immediately.
instantaneously. When I broke up with my last boyfriend, all of their family was I deleted all of them instantaneously. Next day.
My good friend Cripple. There's a good reason why we call
Shout
him
out to Cripple.
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 My man.
Crip.
So Cripple, we call him Cripple because he broke both of his arms at the same time, and I called him Cripple one time, and it just stuck.
Oh my god.
And so him and his girlfriend Sierra, which fuck you Sierra, broke
Fucking
up.
Slut.
Poor.
I don't know about slut, but close enough.
I couldn't enough.
When they broke up, it was literally Sean texted me and I said, hey, me and Sierra broke up. And I went, all right, click. Immediately deleted her.
Yeah. The only reason I say that is because sometimes there's a little bit of snooping that goes on afterwards.
agree.
And so, they'll block you, but like sometimes they'll forget to block the friends.
So the friends can come and check up on you.
Yeah, be like, oh, so you're like, oh, I'm like, man, I fucking hate her. But and then you kind of your friends can be like, oh man, she's talking mad shit, or oh, well, she's doing this now. Kind of keep you updated on the situation. That way, you know if you win the breakup or not.
I don't think I've been with anybody that my friends have actually liked. So I mean, I'm good with that. Yeah. My best friend is my teller of if I should be with somebody or not. Because if he hates her, I'm probably gonna love her.
Yep. I understand that.
But back to winning. I would just like to brag that I won.
There you go.
I won my breakup.
You definitely won your last breakup.
I won it. But also, I'm not in a deep depression either.
Good. I know, but it's some cases.
I was high up on the horse, and I've just stayed on the horse. I never fell off.
Good.
I didn't have to get back on again.
I'm glad.
So speaking of winning.
I'm so ready.
Bowling.
All right.
Bowling.
The 300. Bowling a 300.
Yeah.
What's that like? But what is a 300? Can you explain to people that have never been outside?
A 300 is a perfect game in bowling where you throw every single frame. You have 12 frames in a game, and every single frame is filled with a strike. Mm-hmm. There is no 9 or anything like that. It's all an X. You get all 10 down on your first shot, every single shot.
It's a totally
So you're
perfect
telling me that you have, in fact, got the golden turkey?
No. The golden turkey in bowling is 900, which is 3 straight perfect games.
Oh.
And I have not done that yet. My high series is 823, and that is still impressive because 800 is very hard to do. You have to average 260 to do that.
What is it to get professional? What's
right? Well, actually, in the olden days, it used to be you had to average at least 240 or above, because otherwise you weren't doing anything on the tour. You weren't making any kind of money because a lot of people were actually doing their job by bowling every single day and on the tour.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's you pay $50 and you get a card, but to get sponsored by any kind of company, like shout out to Evan Knight, come on, sponsor me, baby, you got it. But
come on, man,
please.
We'll make sure to tag him in this.
Becky, please.
So to get sponsored by big companies like Storm, Rotor Grip, and Evan Knight, you have to be very good and win regional titles, which are very hard to do because there's very good bowlers out there, and to make an actual living, it's very difficult. Like nowadays, it's very difficult because it's more money to be amateur. It's more money to be amateur. Yes, like bowling tournaments nowadays. Like I think we like a PBA event is $270 to get in as a member,
and that's PBA is Professional
Bowlers Association. Yes, it's a member. $270 for an event. You have to pay for that. You have to pay for a hotel. You have to make sure all your stuff is up to date on the codes and everything like that for bowling, which there are very strict codes now.
Like what?
You can't have. There's something called side weight.
So what is side weight?
Side weight is like if you actually look at a bowling ball from a like if you cut it in half, you'll look inside, you'll see a weight block inside of it.
Oh, so it's not like perfectly centered the whole way. Okay,
no, it's not. So there's something called asymmetrical and asymmetrical, where like you'll see a pin in the ball. A pin in the ball is basically at the top of the weight, and you'll see something called the mass bias, which is at the bottom on an asymmetrical ball. Which asymmetrical means if you cut it right in half, the weight wouldn't be the same on each side. So the mass bias designs where the bottom of the weight is, and then there's the CG, which I think is central. I'm not entirely sure, but if you look at that, that's where the middle of the weight is. So wherever you drill the ball can dictate how much side weight is in it.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So technically, you're now in 2020, they're going to have go up to 3 inches of side weight. I think it is 3 centimeters. I think it is. I'm not sure.
And so this is one of these very specific requirements.
Yes, actually, if you make it to match play in a PBA tournament, you have to weigh your stuff to make sure it's not illegal and USBC certified. And USBC is the United States Bowling Congress.
Son of a bitch.
It is. It's very strict.
Speaking of which, how much does your ball weigh?
15 pounds. All 12.
Oh, only one?
You go up to 16.
I was going to say the limit's 16.
Yes.
How many holes does your ball have?
3. 2 for my middle finger, ring finger, and my thumb.
I've read that you can only have, 12 holes?
Now, you can have 4. You can have 2 for your fingers, 1 for your thumb, and what's called a side weight, which is going away in 2020. Side weight is basically, say you drilled, like we were just talking about, if you drilled too much side weight and made your ball quote-unquote illegal, you can take a chunk out of the side of the ball to make it legal, to make it so that ball actually hooks more.
Oh, so
Oh.
which is part of the
Yes.
side weight
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Instead of adding to one side, you're just reducing from the other
Yes.
side.
Oh.
Which
And
is
that makes
essentially
and that
doing
makes
the
it
same
legal.
thing.
Yes. So basically, you can drill any ball. You can drill a ball any way you want as long as you make the side weight per se good enough.
Mhm.
Which I don't really know how to explain that very well.
I understand.
No, I was getting it. Mhm.
Okay.
That's fascinating that it has to be so specific. And one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to bring you on the podcast when Morgan told me about you was that, and I mean, no disrespect by saying
Oh,
this,
you're good.
that when you think of a bowler, you don't think of professional athlete. Like you think of someone, it's very niche. It's not a very prestigious thing. And I say that being a no-name podcaster. Who do you think has a harder time at Christmas dinner trying to say that they're doing well? A competitive bowler or a no-name podcaster?
Probably the no name podcast.
It's tough. How big is the bowling community, would you say? Like our local community?
Our local community, I bet you at least 3 people you pass have been in a league or bowl in a league.
Fucking really?
You ain't lying.
Wow.
You ain't lying. Like-
3 out of like what would you say?
Out of your whole day, at least 3 people you pass by.
Oh.
Wow.
So
That makes sense because I asked people. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to
You're
interrupt.
good.
That makes sense because I was saying when I was preparing for the interview, I was telling people about, oh, we're gonna have this bowler on. I'm not really, I'm thinking of questions to ask, and I had at least 3 people say, oh, I used to bowl a lot. Yeah, like here, I can give you some information. They came out of the woodworks, and I think bowling, kind of like podcasting, in this weird continuity where it's this huge community that is totally secret to the outside world.
quote unquote doesn't exist.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist. And then the
It's like-
second that you dip into it, you're like, oh, a podcast, let's check it out. And it's like, boom, you're like, whoa, this
Exactly.
has been here the whole fucking time. Is that similar to bowling? Would you say?
Exactly, because I didn't like youth bowling is different though, because youth bowlers they don't really know a lot of the people. A lot of the adults just come in and be like, oh, whatever, my kids are bowling. They're probably hungover from the night before of drinking and bowling.
Yeah.
But if you
Fucking
get in,
12-year-old.
Goddamn 12-year-olds
I
being
got it.
hungover.
I got into the adult bowling world at 17, and my name was already half known because of my dad. My dad's name is also Joe Sparks,
Dun dun.
and when I walked around, everybody knew me already, as if I was like their old son. So it kind of was very easy to transition. But I agree, it definitely is just like podcast. It's very strange though, because a lot of the people you see, you would not expect to be the people that they are outside of bowling. Like a lot of them are construction workers per se, like me. I'm a construction worker, but
Samesies.
there you go. But there's a lot of bankers, there's a lot of high end people that I know that bowl. They're high end in like J.P. Morgan Bank. They come in and they just hang out with us blue collar folk, and we have no idea.
Yeah.
So it's something that brings us all together per se. We're one big family that lives in northern Delaware, and it grows across the entire country. One of my best friends moved here from Colorado, and he's one of the best bowlers I've ever met.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I just had the giant urge to go, aww. Not to swerve back to this beer, but the more that I'm intoxicated, like the sweeter the finish is on that boy.
Yeah, right?
It's a shame that I don't have any more.
Like it's like a tart. It's like tart, and then it's like,
Can I try and fuck this bottle?
Ooh.
Be my
I mean,
guest.
I was gonna say it's a pretty tight hole at the top.
You'd be surprised.
Oh,
You'd be surprised, but maybe not impressed.
No, you won't be impressed. You won't be impressed. There's a lot of things big on me, and that's one of them.
oh.
I'm not ashamed to say that.
Do you get a lot of flack? People that don't bowl and that don't get it, and you tell them you bowl, do you get a lot of flack for that?
No, a lot of people think it's cool.
Really?
I'm actually surprised how many people actually be like, "You bowl? That's awesome."
That's good to hear.
Because like I said, I have 7 300 games, but I mean, it's just
Whoa.
it's amazing to see how many people actually out there are like, "Oh wow, you actually are really good." And thank you, I appreciate that to everybody. But it's surprising that something that's not seen in the outside world, like big as football, gets that much recognition.
As far as football, do you think I always do this with golf as well? Anytime somebody says, like, if I don't like somebody and they say they golf a lot, I always say, is golf a game or a sport?
Same thing with bowling.
Same thing, right? It's that same thing?
Well, here's
Is
the
it-
thing: is like
It's-
you'd be surprised how many bowlers are actually golfers as well.
Yeah.
I play golf. I play golf.
That makes sense.
I bet it's about the level of dedication.
It is.
I
It
feel
is.
like that's what differentiates it
I don't know
from
if
being
you
a
guys-
game or a sport.
I don't know if you guys ever. I don't know if you guys went to UD at all, but one of my buddies is named
Never.
Earl Cosner.
Okay.
And Earl Cosner, he was very good on the UD team, and he got better with age. Averaged 230 for the entire time I knew him, and just shot his first 300 last year.
Wow.
So but like you said, it's very big on dedication. It very is, because I devoted 23 years of my life to this, and it's something that I do, almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I want to blow my brains out how much I bowl, but at the same time I'm like, meh, my shoulder can hold it for another couple of years.
How long do you think like if I was to start bowling, I'll only bowl casually with friends, maybe once a year if I'm lucky.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think it would take me to bowl a 300?
4 years.
4 years.
Wow.
And is that playing every single day? Is that mad dedication?
That's at least practice. At least 3 days a week practice.
Really?
Yes. My another shout out, Richard Barchuk. Go Barchuk, you're the man.
Barchuk.
He averages about as much as I do, and he's only been bowling 5 or 6 years, and he has 2 or 3 amateur titles, 3 800s and 4 300s. 6 years. 6 years he's been bowling compared to my 23, and has me outnumbered in a lot of stats.
Wow.
Dedication.
He's in it to win it.
In it to win it. He's very good.
Do you think he's going to go pro?
No, I think he's going to stay on the amateur tour because of more money.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that. I'm sorry. Can you get back to that? Why do you think in the amateur tour, or by being amateur, if there's more money just because there's less expenses?
No, it's almost the same expenses, because you still, you don't have to set up like a grandstand or anything like that, but you still have to set up oil patterns and everything like that. Oil patterns differ and everything like that, but with the PBA, they're losing sponsorship. They're losing sponsorship because it doesn't go on TV as much. You can't use beer sponsorships or smoking sponsorships. It sucks, and they lose a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
If you look between the years of 2000 and 2007, Miller Lite and Miller High Life were one of the biggest sponsors of bowling, and they made so much money. It was ridiculous. Like the U.S. Open winner made $100,000.
Yeah.
In, I think, 2004, which is Patrick Allen.
To add to your point, not back in the 1960s, which was the height of bowling, it was reported that a professional bowler was making more money than any other professional athlete in any other sport.
Because it took so much skill.
Yeah.
It took more skill than it did to hit a ball. It took more skill than grab a football out of the air. Even skate on skates in hockey. Because back in the day, they didn't have the technology to make a bowling ball do what it does now. You literally had to hit an inch mark on the lane to hit the pocket, which the pocket is the first 2 pins that you see.
I'm an obsessive guy by nature.
Okay.
To the point where when I was reading, I read the entire Wikipedia page article on the history of bowling.
Okay.
I could put sleeping pill companies out of fucking business with this knowledge. I'm going to fall the fuck asleep after this. but I just had to. I had to learn all about it.
I understand.
And I learned that, again, after in the 1960s, that was like the huge height of bowling. That was like that big first wave. Richard Nixon was a big bowler. He had the bowling alley put in the White House, which is still there to this day. I'm sure you know.
Well, no, he got taken out for a basketball court from Barack Obama.
Really?
As far as I know, yeah. As far as I know, it got taken out for Barack Obama for basketball court.
I got to check that out now.
It
That's
might
fascinating.
It might be.
So, but I also found that after kind of that wave died down in America, that then like bowling ball sponsorships and I guess bowling went international, specifically in Japan. And I was really curious about this.
Okay.
So last week, I went to Japan to find out for myself.
You legit went to Japan?
No, of course I didn't go to fucking Japan. Why the fuck would I go to Japan? We got no sponsorships. I got no fucking money for this.
But it was fucking funny, wasn't
That was
it?
great.
Miller ain't sponsoring this shit. I feel your pain.
All right, I do have 2 important questions.
Yes.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
All right, do you shave your balls?
Oh, no. I don't. I shave my pubes. I make sure I make like a nice little arrow saying suck me right there.
That's beautiful. I'm sure the ladies really love it.
Nah.
Time to take a swig.
As far as I know, no ladies have loved it so far.
I am under the personal belief little fuzz never hurt nobody.
I agree.
Animals are fuzzy. Everybody likes them.
I purposely bought...
Everybody loves those.
Why do you think people are kind of off put by snakes sometimes?
That's true.
Because they're not hairy.
I purposely bought 80s porno cards to play cards with.
Oh.
Instead of the new cards, because at least you see Bush.
Good beer. I totally derailed that with my Japan comment.
You're good, dude. I was actually going to say, the Japanese bowlers are very big. You are very right.
Yeah.
They are. And they're very good. Like, I watched the doubles tournament on ESPN, and the Tang brothers came in second, and we're about a pin away, but it was just basically this close from winning against two of the best American bowlers there is.
Wow. So is our American bowler still top?
No, European.
What?
European.
Those motherfuckers.
Well, in the PBA, American bowlers are still top. Like EJ Tackett, Marshall Kent, and everything like that. But in something called the Weber Cup, which they use a different scoring system for, the Americans haven't won since 2013, and that's 5 years.
Wow.
God, America, get your shit together.
But it's even become so big that people are going into Japan for PBA regionals.
Huh.
So like Sean Rash from Jersey is actually going to Japan for regionals.
Oh, I know that I'm circling back to this beer thing a lot.
You're good. The beer's really good.
It's
back
really
to
fucking
this-
good beer.
Back to this Miller High Life. Is anybody getting like a nutty flavor now that you've had the other beer, like
I
an
agree.
aftertaste?
Fuck, now I gotta know. Bit woodsy.
Right, like I feel like I'm almost about to have a PB&J drinking this Miller High Life after that Rodenbacher.
I was going to make a comment that the only girl here was the one that noticed the nuts.
My eyes are always on the nuts.
Good.
We're not here to talk about bowling. We're gonna cut all that out. We're just here to talk about beer.
It's okay, nuts. She's not looking at you.
Have you named your balls?
No.
Have you named your dick?
Yes.
Whoa,
on.
why would you
Steve.
name one and not the other?
Steve.
Scuba Steve.
He did some deep diving.
Well, I did get named after a ball. There's a ball that I just shot 300 with yesterday, and it's the only ball I have that I have 2 300s on called the Legend.
Wow.
And they've named me the Legend.
Nice. Congratulations on your 300, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You'd be surprised.
Religion.
You'd actually-
Myth. Joe Sparks.
It is a myth.
We're not sure if he's real.
Now, I like the appeal of bowling because it is this niche thing. Because, wouldn't know what's been pissing me off lately? Marvel movies.
Why?
Because, okay, Marvel movies, they're fine. They're great.
I
But
agree.
there's these bad habits that people have been getting in where they really like Marvel movies. They really resonate with characters. They learn a lot about these characters. They buy the comic books. They kind of do the backlogging once the movie's about to come out. And then they say, man, I'm such a nerd.
Yeah, it's getting old too.
Isn't that fucking annoying?
I agree. Because, I mean, people, and I'm not trying to say anything about you, but we look like we read comic books a lot. Like, I used to read comic books a lot, and I don't look like a reader, but I read books a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, hearing someone say, oh, man, I'm such a nerd. You have a Green Lantern t-shirt. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
All right? I have damn near every single comic imaginable. Not really, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Within reason.
Yeah.
You have a library.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's getting a little annoying because I always found that a nerd is someone who likes something that other people don't seem to understand. Like,
I was gonna say, I feel like we're all nerds right here in this room, at least.
absolutely. We're these podcasting nerds. We're these audiophiles now.
Right.
We have these audio equipment. Like we dedicate to these things that you can't go to work and talk about. Nobody fucking gets. But
Nobody likes to hear about my life after work.
right?
They're like, so what did you do this week? And I'm like, oh, I recorded the podcast. And then they're like, they have this face like, what?
Yeah.
What's a podcast?
Right. It was, so I just choose to leave that out at this point.
But then again, you got these quote unquote nerds that are talking about Iron Man, and everybody knows exactly what's going on. That's not a nerd anymore. A nerd is somebody part of the counterculture. It's something that doesn't understand, which is I think I think what resonates so heavy with bowling is that outside of the bowling community, nobody gets it.
Exactly.
It's a thing that your family does casually sometimes.
I did also find out that the bowling community all fucks each other somehow. And it's weird.
Oh my
Someone's gotta
God,
be
it's
fucking
just
them.
like
Crazy.
Grey's Anatomy.
It's just like furries. They all fuck each other.
They do.
I just found out that I know a furry.
Oh, if you want to see some cool furries, go to Bolorama on Saturday nights. They have a furry party.
Oh, wow. That is.
Saturday. I gotta go.
Gotta message my friend.
It's awesome. We were there for a match and a party, and we were getting trashed, and furries walked in. We went,
What?
the fuck is this giant fox doing here?
Does drinking make you better at bowling?
No. For
Damn.
me, no, but some people does. Tom Sweetman's one of the best bowlers I ever met, and he doesn't remember bowling.
It's like Stephen King with writing books.
Well,
Right? Like Cujo.
one of my favorite stories I've told people was the dude that shot the house record, which is 889 at
Hashtag the
Bolorama. That's a 300, 289.
Fuck.
It's very hard to do. You literally throw, let's see, 12, 24, 33 strikes in a row. Possibly 34. And he don't remember throwing any of it.
Wow.
He was blitzed and won 20 grand off of that.
Don't do drugs, kids. Can you
Drilled the-
imagine living like that?
I don't think I want to.
God
I
damn.
don't want.
I lived my life getting blackout drunk when I was 17. I think I'm done doing it at 25.
Yep, that's it. We're good.
Right? I'm glad that there are other people that are like that.
Exactly. I did all my partying that people are doing now that I did at 17.
Mm-hmm.
I rode my bike to a party, got blackout drunk, rode my bike home, and my dad told me I was grounded.
Get off that bike, son. You're
Come on,
grounded.
man. Grounded.
Can you imagine that? Just like, you're grounded. Don't you remember? Be like, nah, Dad, I don't.
Okay. Hypothetical situation. You have to convince somebody that bowling is the greatest sport ever and they should totally try it out and they would love it. How do you do it?
You can literally bowl with one hand and eat nachos in the other one.
Fuck, that's good.
Right?
That's tough to beat.
I mean, and even if it's not nacho, it's a very fancy beer if you want it to be.
Exactly.
And if you, like, this is your platform, you are now accessing at least 10 people that don't potentially, I guess based on our statistics, 7 of them don't bowl.
Okay.
And at least 10 of them don't know us.
What do you want the common populace to know about bowlers? What's a misconception that's always bugging you that people are asking about? Like, what's something that you want to set the record straight with?
There's like 3 of them.
Go.
We're not all virgins.
Just most of them.
2, I mean, yes, we have a special hook. It took us a lot of years to practice. No, you're not going to perfect it in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Are we talking about sex or the bowling?
Both. I can't perfect sex and I'm 25. Yes, it took me 23 years to figure out how to throw a bowling ball. No, you're not going to get done in 10 minutes. 3, yes, I am drunk a lot when I bowl.
Fucking cheers to that.
I like the way Morgan drinks. It's like, give me that. Oh.
You do
came out
drink
my
kind of
nose.
slutty.
Almost came out my nose. Bad idea, Morgan. Bad idea.
Like you said it, I was like, I'm gonna do it. Don't do it that way, kid. Ooh, wow.
Please don't drink your beer by shoving the entire long neck bottle down your throat.
Look, you don't have any. I thought I saw you do it. I was like, it'll be fine.
Oh no, it was a
It's
bad idea.
bad.
It was a bad
It's
idea.
bad.
It went up in my nose.
Hey, he's a professional.
Might die.
I know how to drink.
All right. Have some of this beer to wash this beer down.
Oh, my
Incredible.
God.
That was
I did it.
incredible.
I managed it.
I'm very proud of you. That's like every girl getting cum on her face. I managed it.
I managed it. These tears on my face, also like any girl that's had her face come on.
We're stuck in her ass.
Stuck. Yeah, I'd cry too.
So there is one last thing we'd like to do on the podcast. It is one final game. It's a word association game. So, it's where I will say a word, and you, Joe, are going to say a word based off of my word.
Okay. First word that comes to my head.
First word that comes.
Worst
to
word that comes to my head. Perfect.
Worst word is also good too.
Hitler.
It just has to be related.
All right.
And then whatever the first thing that comes to your head, then Morgan thinks of the first word that comes to her head based off of your word. And we go in a circle, or in this case, a triangle.
I like it.
You lose the game if you can't think of a word quick enough. It's a pretty quick game. Or you repeat a word that someone else has already said in the same round. You can say a phrase as well. Like if it's like kind of 2 words, we're okay with it. But you want to play fair.
Okay.
Are you ready to play?
I am ready.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Dogs.
Cats.
Food.
Beverages.
Dollars.
Pay.
Money.
George Washington.
Cherry tree.
Apples.
Oranges.
Pears.
Peaches.
Grapefruit.
Vegetables.
Rutabagas.
The hell's a rutabaga?
Oh, shit. You're out.
Damn.
Just so you know, rutabaga is a root vegetable.
Should have
It's
said
delicious.
potato.
No.
Damn it.
Rutabagas are way better than fucking potatoes.
I mean, I don't want to fuck a potato either, but
I'm just saying, at Thanksgiving, I will fuck up a rutabaga.
I'll fuck up some green bean casserole.
Gross.
That's the longest first round we've ever had.
Right? I just thought of that. I was like, whoa, this is going so much longer than ever before.
She threw me off with the rutabaga.
Right?
My thought process is still clear. I need more beer.
Yep.
Ukulele.
Oh, guitar.
Sitar.
Bass.
Cello.
Trumpet.
Saxophone.
Trombone.
Clarinet.
Bass clarinet.
Flute.
Violin.
Piccolo.
Director.
Fuck you. God damn, that was good. Okay. You start.
Oh, I'll start.
Mm-hmm.
Beer.
Wine.
Yeast.
Liquor.
Fuck.
If it came back to me, I was going to be like, fooder. Because a fooder is just a vat that usually holds wine.
There you go.
Well, Joe Sparks, that is the podcast. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We had a great time with you. We learned a lot about bowling and about the nerddom that is surrounding it. Once again, thank you very much for coming on. What would you like to promote? What's the plug? What's going on?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And second of all, I'd like to plug Rackbusters Pro Shop. Ethan Gray, Dan Mitchell, and Stacy Mitchell, they've all done great things for me, and they will do great things for everybody else that wants to learn how to bowl. And once you get a performance bowling ball to start out really well, Ethan does his own coaching tips and everything like that. They are based out of Elkton Lanes in Elkton and Bowlerama Family Fun Center.
Wow, that is awesome. And we will make sure to plug them in the description so people know where to find them. Thank you very much for listening to the Maximum Mediocrity podcast. The dude abides, wear a condom, love each other, stay woke.
And fuck your sister, whatever.
Who cares anymore?